Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the superstars all around the world. My name is Frank Salas, better known as the talented Mr. Salas. And part of my job to serve the talent tribe is to go out and find local experts all over the world and get them to just share their secrets on what they've learned on their journey in the online space. Today, I have one of my influencer friends and a fellow classmate. We're going through a program together right now, actually, to build our email list. This is Claire Kim, and Claire is based out of Canada. Claire, to introduce yourself to everybody in Talent Tribe.
Oh, okay. So introduction of myself. Hi, I'm Claire, and I'm based in Great White North. Ooh. And what I do in a nutshell is I help talented solopreneurs to pave their way as authority figures online outside of Facebook groups so that they can attract their dream opportunities, grow their tribe while at the same time reducing the time that they spend in their business. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Awesome. So you save people time, you give people more exposure, you get them to get noticed. And today what we're going to cover is we're going to cover Google and how you can turn Google to be your best friend, your best ally to generate some revenue. Google is now your best affiliate on the internet. So I think you have a presentation here set up for us. So go ahead and share your screen, guys. If you have any questions joining us live on the webinar, or on the replay, just type them down in the comments. We'll make sure we'll get them answered for you.
Alrighty. So disclaimer, this particular training, when I was designing it, I wanted to make sure that this is like super beginner friendly. So if you're watching this training right now, or if you're watching a replay of this and you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about if I say SEO, you're the perfect fit for this training. Congratulations. However, if you're completely expert at it, disclaimer, this is not a training for you. But anyways, I'm just going to get started. The topic of this training, brought by Mr. Talented Salas and Buster Claire, aka me, is using Google as billboard for your brand, which is awesome. It's like Google is your best affiliate, but you don't have to give them affiliate commissions, which is even better. Alrighty, so what this training is about, I'm gonna go through the basics of SEO. So I'm actually going to explain what the heck SEO even stands for, why should you even care, why it's basically why it is important, and then so that you can start using Google as a billboard for your brand. So in other words, get your website seen 24/7 on search engines all around the world. So when your target audience types in, for example, your business name or your name or whatever your specialty is, then your audience will see it on Google and it'll be super amazing visibility. It doesn't cost you a dime to do so. So by the end of the training, you will, number one, know what SEO is actually about and the benefits for your business. Number two, understand 2 things that you need to have in place in order to even get started. And then 3, take few proactive actions for you to take so that you can start using Google as a billboard for your brand. So I'm going to give you an actual strategy that I used when I first started my consulting firm. Before I transitioned into being a coach, I did my consulting firm, and I'm giving you the exact strategy that I used. So that landed my consulting firm on first page Google when we typed in our keyword. So it's very simple, but it's very effective at the same time, especially if you're a beginner. I made a very beginner friendly. So yeah, this training is for you if just so that we're all on the same page and we're not I'm wasting anyone's time here. So if you ever found yourself thinking, okay, I'm working really hard, I'm posting everywhere, I am literally everywhere on social media, I'm on social media platform, but how can I get my brand seen on search engines? If you ever found yourself thinking that, this training is for you. And if you're also hoping to understand what SEO is, or like I said, if you have no idea what the heck I meant when I said SEO, this is the right training for you. And as well, if you got frustrated about how you worked really hard on your content, but nobody sees it on search engines, or at the end of the day, you type in your name on search engine, and then all you see is on the Barney characters, this training is for you, because SEO is going to help you avoid that kind of situation. But this training is not for you if, actually, by this point, like when I'm done reading this slide, we should probably see some exits out of this particular training. But anyways, if you already have a solid understanding of what SEO is and have strategies in place. So like, for example, if you know how to do backlinks, if you know how to like drive traffic even more and things like that, like PPC, all those term words, like if you understand what I was talking about when I blurted out those words, this training is not for you. We're going to have a different training for you sometime later. I don't know. And if you're not interested in having people encounter your brand outside the platforms that you're active in, so if you just want to stay within Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and you don't want to be seen on search engine, this training is really, really not for you. And I have a couple of cases, but anyways, if you're not willing to invest time in learning and implementing action steps and strategies presented, this training is not for you. And then as well, if you're looking for a quick fix, get rich scheme, if there's one thing in digital marketing that is not a get rich scheme or a quick fix, it is SEO. You need to be super, super patient. In fact, it's going to take your patience to the next level. So if you fall into any of these categories, this training is not for you. So I'm just doing you a favor by stating all these scenarios up front. So questions, concerns so far? I'm just gonna get going.
Yeah. Hey, so Kim, Claire, I just want to say, like, Google helped me launch my first business. So no one knew exactly what I was doing. No one knew how to find me until I put my business on Google. And like, I would get phone calls from all over the world, and I still get phone calls from all over the world to this day because so make sure you guys are paying attention. Make sure you guys take notes, and make sure you guys close all distractions, all phones, everything, and just take notes, because this is really going to help your business if you apply this.
Take screenshots too. Like I give you full permission on that. I'm not sure how Frank feels about it, but I'm okay with screenshots. I'll be very flattered. So
cool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just a quick warning. If you don't have a custom domain with your own website, nor have plans to get them settled in any near future, these strategies from the training is not going to work, because these are two things you need in place in order to even get started on SEO. Because I'll explain the reasons a lot later on, but the point being, if you don't have these things in place, or if you don't have any plans to get things in place, this training isn't for you. So please make sure you do have it. So I'm just going to go right in. All right. Special notes. I'm trying to arrange that. It's most likely going to be copy of slides. I'm more than okay with giving them away. Anyway, so just in case we haven't met yet, yay. So a little bit about me. Yay, I'm Claire, and I kind of introduced myself at the beginning, but I have talented solopreneurs to pave their way as an authority figure outside of Facebook groups so that they can attract dream clients, grow their tribe, while reducing the time that they spend in business. So this little fluff right here, he's the one crying in the background. I don't think he's crying anymore. And I also go by the stage name Whaley. So you might have seen me on quite a few live streaming platforms and things, and then maybe certain performances within Greater Toronto area or Ottawa area. But anyway, so that's another part of what I do, and that's, I don't know, nice. As seen on, just so if you're thinking, okay, why should I even listen to this chick that's wearing pink at midnight or something? As seen on, and more to be finalized, and a little bit more about me, just as a background, so that you could how I got to think the way I think. So I spent 5 years in nonprofit sectors, so doing social media, graphic design, marketing, communications, PR, project management, event planning. And one thing with nonprofit, you kind of end up doing everything at the same time. Everything you do, all you're really told is make it close to zero budget. Make it close to zero budget. Make it close to zero budget, because we don't have money for that. Basically the whole, we don't have money for that. Make it close to zero. But make it happen. So I really had to get used to that mindset. But because of that, I guess I've been really able to really nail down the very, very affordable strategies for brand's visibility and promotions and things such as that. So now that you know a little bit about me, time to get into good stuff. Woohoo! So that you can finally understand what SEO even stands for, which is awesome. Alrighty, so tell us in the chat box. Yeah, there's if I'm gonna see if anyone actually notices where this meme is coming from. But yeah, so tell us in the chat box if what do you think SEO means? Am I able to see the chat box here? I don't think so. Maybe this.
Yeah, you can. It'll pop up in a little orange bubble here in a bit. So yeah, what do you guys think SEO means? Just type that down in the comments below. Is this Bruno Mars?
Yes, yes.
Nice. Krista Rizzo, who is the founder of Why Am I Yelling? Parental Coaching. She says search engine optimization.
All right, let's try to hear from a couple of other people, but I think, yeah, a couple of other people, questions, wait, thoughts, what do you think?
Let's poll the audience, like Ask a Millionaire or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I was kind of hoping to hear from someone saying, "Oh my God, I totally just sang along that just sang along that line just now in my head or something." I was hoping to hear that, but I guess nobody got the reference. Okay, yeah. So search engine optimization. If you guessed that, or if you're thinking of that, you're correct. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and to go on a little bit further, it's a combination of any techniques, tactics, and strategies to have your website and further on content rank high up on search engine result pages, which people call in an acronym SERP. I didn't understand what it meant either, and then I had to really do a lot of studying in that. But anyways, now you know search engine results pages, SERP, and SEO, search engine optimization, because nobody really has time to say that all out loud every single time. So that's that. And why you need to do SEO right. This particular graphic just sums up in itself. So when I took a screenshot of this was on Sunday at midnight. I was like, accountants, New York City. Now, if your efforts are only just based on a social media platform, it's great when you're active on there, but what if you're sleeping? You know what I mean? And what if you don't have, what if you don't have millions of staff posting 24/7 and things like that. So that being said, SEO, as you can see over here, if you do it right, based on regardless of where you are in the world or what time is it, whether you're even working on your business at that point being, you're gonna see yourself on search engines. And then you know what, if you're high up on this Google search engine, and especially if this person, if the person that typed in the keyword was actually looking to buy, if you're on the first page Google within top 5 queries, guaranteed they're gonna click through those top 5 pages. And who knows, they fall in love with you, and the next thing you know, they book discovery call with you and then become your client. So how did you find me? And they're like, oh, I found you through Google. It's score. So that's why you need to do your SEO right. I'm just trying to put it in very, very simple terms. So, but to break it down a little bit more coherently, if you do your SEO right, your future clients can come across your brand online anytime, anywhere with a keyword that has to do with your specialty or niche. So you thousands of dollars in advertisement or be online 24/7, which is why I kind of brought up the $10,000 analogy when I was promoting this particular training, because if you're to, for example, spend money on paid media, paid advertisement, publicists, marketing coach, social media manager, all those people to make sure that you're visible 24/7, it's gonna cost you $10,000s of dollars, literally. But Google can do that work for you for free. And like I said, you don't need to pay them affiliate commissions. Now, if you do want to pay them, there's something outside of SEO, but that's way beyond the scope of the training. So I'm just not going to get into that. Alrighty, so here's the aspects of SEO, which is relatively simple. Well, not really simple per se. It's a lot of aspects because, as the definition said, it's literally every single techniques, tactics, strategies involved to make sure that your brand places high up on the search engine. But so some aspects of SEO, there's software development, which this training is definitely not about that. Web design, strategies, social network, content, traffic monitoring. So all these fun stuff, they all constitute SEO. But what I'm going to focus on for this particular training, because this is supposed to be beginner friendly and puppy friendly, website optimization, content, and social network. these three things are gonna be what I'm gonna be focusing on. Rest, honestly, I think you should be delegating. But as for delegating, I'm pretty sure Frank has a lot to say about that as to hiring great new staff, all those fun things. But right now, we're just gonna focus on these three things that I circled. Woohoo!
So, hey, Claire, just to clarify, if someone's trying to get started and to really ramp up their SEO, because SEO is an important piece of any business engine, especially online, your recommendation is to start with website optimization, your content, and then your social network. That's probably the first three key areas to focus on, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
And again, then, like, I mean, you could say focus on software development, but like honestly, we don't have time to figure out all the software stuff out. So website optimization, content, social network. The reason why I recommend people, especially beginners, to start with these first is because as entrepreneurs, you're creating content every day. You're live streaming, you're posting on social media, you're making these Facebook posts, you're posting on Twitter, you're guest posting and all that fun stuff. And then most people that probably stayed in this webinar to this point, they have a website. So all these three things, like, it's what you already have. You're just using the tactics to make sure that your brand actually shows up on search engines. So that's why I'm saying start with these, and then everything else can come along later or delegate it or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, so but before I really get into strategy, I want to show you how search engines work, as in like how they even decide, okay, well, like, what am I going to put on first page Google? So because the search engines that decide that, it's not us that can bid to Google and say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 so that, like, when someone types in my name, I'm going to show up first. Like, it doesn't work like that. It's the search engine algorithm that does it. So I'm going to show you how it works. All right, so how search engine works in a nutshell version. So it's all like automated through algorithm, not really automated per se, but it's all programmed. So there's like spiders that like, so basically spiders is, I'm trying to think of a good analogy to think of it, but I'm just going to read the descriptions and you can kind of get this spider analogy. So the search engine itself, for example, like Google or Bing, they send out its spiders to crawl the web. Yeah, exactly, like virtual robot. That's a great analogy. Thank you. And spiders take notes on the titles, keywords, description, navigation, basically everything, and further on quality of content, because I mean, you could splatter all these keywords on your content is really not relevant to whatever the audience is actually Googling. Your content is probably your content or website further on. It's not going to do that well on search engines. And yeah, based on all those things, they're going to decide, okay, where am I going to put this person? And afterwards, they're going to really compile all these findings together and then determine where they're going to place you. And then you show up on Google search engines. So like I said at the beginning, SEO is really gonna really gonna test out your patience that way. But yeah, this is how search engines work, and this process doesn't take a day. I'll tell you that up front. And Google especially, they change their algorithm a lot. And I'm not really gonna get into I'm not gonna get into the algorithm evolution in this training, because this is I'm trying to make this training as beginner level as possible. And yes, a few things that spiders look for: keywords, relevant content, description text, navigation, and further on to make sure that this is a relevant content that the audience will be looking for when you type in the keyword. And in other words, if you want your website to be seen, or if you want your content to be seen on search engines, it needs to meet all these criteria so that it can increase your chances of being on first page or further on second page. Because like, honestly, who here actually like clicks through all the Google page, like all the like Google 100 pages? Like, does anyone still do that or no? Yeah, it's just first 2 pages.
Yeah, I maybe go like, if I'm super geeking out, maybe like 10, maybe 15, maybe 20, like 20 max though. 20 absolute max. So that was really interesting. I want to jump back a little bit and talk about the spiders and the robots that you're talking about. So if I go to Google, if I go to Bing, I type in growth hacking experts, and Google or whatever search engine sends out these spiders or these virtual bots out into the internet, and they're like going through websites, and they're going through every single little piece of my website, like all the blogs that I'm writing, all the pictures that I have with the descriptions and captions and tags and meta tags and all that stuff. And then they're collecting all that information. And the more relevant keywords that I have, it'll take that back to Google or Bing and say, hey, this should probably be ranking up very high because this person's probably looking for this guy's content.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Alrighty. So, and I also want to mention why I'm just barking about custom domain, because like, just in case you guys are confused, but there are a lot of studies that show how subdomains can hurt search engine results. So now I'm not talking about like your main domain and then there's like, for example, blog.evercoach.com. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about like wix.com or webs.com. So for example, johnsmith.webs.com. So like that kind of subdomain. But yeah, so subdomains really make it difficult to remember and locate. Otherwise, that means custom domains, easier to remember, easier to locate. Honestly, it's much better to say, yeah, my website is johnsmith.com versus my website is johnsmith.wix.something. It's not very fun. It also shows that you're very serious about your business, which everyone in the training are. And also, this is the most important point of this particular slide. So especially if you're in like MLM, direct marketing, or you have a subdomain from Wix, Webs, and all that fun stuff, the spiders will have like thousands of other places within that, like Wix.com, to pull keywords and information from, and down your website down the search engine no matter what you do. All right, so I have a question here. I got a question about keywords cannibalize. I mean, too many people searching keywords. What can make the difference?
So yeah, that's from Jose. He's out in Spain, so English is second language. But what he's asking is, he wants to know, I'm assuming, how can you make your keywords stand out? I mean, if he has a hot dog chain out in the Canary Islands in Spain, and he might be looking for franchisees or new franchises. So how can he make his keywords stand out of the other ones, or is it possible?
Yeah, there are, like, as for the keywords, well, I'm gonna have to give you somewhat more generic answer than that, because depending on the person, the keyword, like at the end of the day, it's what the person types in the search engine. So for example, if I'm not in no way interested in hot dogs, which by the way I am, but for example, if I'm not, no matter how amazing the keyword is, people are not going to type it. So like the efforts are just that. But if you're asking as in how can I make my website stand out based on the keywords that I have, so that my website can show up to the audience that are typing hot dogs in Canary Islands, then there are strategies to go about that, which I am going to talk about a little bit more towards the end of the training. But some things, for example, custom domain, yeah, it's going to really increase your chances. But also, if you have if someone took a source from your website, so for example, someone wrote an article about you, like local newspaper wrote an article about you, and then they linked it back to your website, that's like a concept of backlink. But the more websites are basically sourcing from you, Google kind of takes it as, oh my god, this person's really credible, because all these websites are taking websites are taking information from this website, so they must be super credible. We should place them high up on search engine, which is why guest posting is such a popular strategy amongst bloggers, especially bloggers that are really looking to boost up their ranking on search engines, so that if they say healthcare blog, like health coaching blog, and if there's a lot of posts that link back to that particular website, then people are going to see it. They're going to be more likely to see it. So I hope that I answered your question. Okay, good. Okay, I hope that was a sufficient explanation. All right, so now we're going to get to strategy. Okay, I probably should have went to this particular slide first before I answered the whole question. So this is the answer to the whole, how am I going to make my website stand out? This is the whole answer to that from the beginner standpoint. So main keywords should be your brand's name. I find that, for example, if you're starting off with the title first, for example, a hot dog place in Canary Islands, well, if you're the only hot dog place in Canary Islands, definitely go for that. And if you want to be known as the one, my approach, at least for beginners, is the fact that you should do it with your brand's name, and then your secondary keyword should be like what your brand is about and title. So you're putting emphasis on all three things, but you're putting most emphasis on brand's name, so that if people are wondering, for example, tourists visit and then they say, hey, I heard of this amazing hot dog place in Spain, and then I don't but I don't know its location, then they can type in the name, and then your website will like pretty much be guaranteed to show up if you focus on the brand's name as your main keyword. And then secondary keywords could be the best hot dog place in southern Spain or something like that. So focus on those things. And yeah, main link being your website, and also landing page. So landing pages, yeah, like I would say, so provided the fact that it's a part of the websites, and then also there are secondary links such as social media links, and also later on, what you could do is when you're trying to do your SEO campaigns, any guest posts that you did, you could also try to get those ones to end up higher up whenever people type in your brand's name or whatever. But that's kind of beyond the scope of this particular training. As for your primary content mediums, blogs and videos, especially if you're doing videos on YouTube, it's wonderful because, as you probably know, Google and YouTube are very, very close together. Actually, if you look at their office photo, they have the best slides ever, but sorry, that's completely off track. But so blogs and videos, why I'm so big on blogs is because all these keywords, brand's name, what the brand is about, and title, well, you can't squeeze them all within, let's say, a tweet. It's 140 characters. You're not going to be able to, I think for some brands, you're going to have trouble squeezing in the brand name. But if you're doing in a blog form, 500-word blog form, then you can put in your brand's name, your title, what your brand is about. You can actually go on and on, and you can sprinkle up the best hot dog place in southern Spain, or the best hot dog place in Iceland, or something like that. And secondary content mediums being social media posts and pictures. One pro tip that I could give, I probably should have put this on the slide, is really focus on the captions, especially because we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, Google looks at everything. So just tiny little details. For example, if your picture is the screenshot -08 whatever it is, they're gonna be like, okay, well, this doesn't seem relevant because Google spiders, they only look at the words, they don't look at the image itself. So no matter how great the infographic that you create, let's say, if the title of it is screenshot whatever, it's not going to show up. So make sure to pay attention to the caption part. As well, social media posts. You might see certain posts, for example, Tumblr and Pinterest is really great with this. You're going to see social media posts popping out on your search engine. So that will be a secondary content medium that I'll focus on. But the primary being blog and videos, and description tags will vary per content. So captions and all that fun stuff. And what I do suggest for you to do also is really track popular contents within your specialty and use similar catchphrases as descriptions. For example, if I know that Pokemon Go was really viral a while ago, and they can maybe if you're writing an article about how small businesses can better use their change their marketing, let's say, put in Pokemon Go, all those appropriate keywords so that you can show up in search engines. That's just a little bit of a tactic here. And then as well, inbound links. Yes, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but the links directing back to your website, make sure that it is distributed within social media networks. So maybe instead of like this like I do have this is something that I've done myself as well. I was like at least under my musician brand, I had like 10 different social media platforms I was on, and then on Facebook I'll say follow me on Twitter, and then on Twitter I'll say follow me on Instagram, and on Instagram I'll say follow me on Periscope, and on Periscope I'll say follow me on Reverb Nation. So like audience might do that, but when they finally get to like, let's see, Foursquare or Tumblr, they're left to the whole follow me on Facebook, and they're like, are you kidding me? I just followed the whole entire thing. So don't do that. It makes audience tired, but at the same time it doesn't do you any favor, especially to drive your traffic to the website at the end of the day, because like believe it or not, most people really to be honest, most people won't just Google your website. I mean, they will if they're like very intentional about it. But if they came across you through social media first, they're gonna like, unless you tell them visit my website to learn more about what I do, unless you tell them up front, they're not even gonna get that idea of Googling you, or they're not even gonna get that idea of going to your website. And like, if you can't get them to your website, how are you gonna turn them into your customers? So yeah, the point being, inbound links directing back to your website or article, blog, or whatever. Make sure that it is distributed within social media networks. So I'm just gonna give a couple of seconds so that everyone can take screenshots. These two slides, like this was my exact strategy. Like I said, mentioned at the beginning of this training. So take a screenshot of these two, because this is like the golden nugget of this whole entire training. So I'm just gonna give it like a minute and see if anyone has questions, concerns, comments.
We're good on the questions right now, but yeah, go ahead and drop a screenshot. I'm gonna take a screenshot too and post it up in the tribe just for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Take a screenshot. Alrighty.
Boom. All right. We got it.
Okay, and then the next slide. So just two slides that you should take a screenshot of, but at the same time, it's like strategy and like 2 sheets, which isn't really that bad. I've seen some strategy papers that are like 70 pages. I wrote one. Yeah. So everyone good with screenshots? Everyone took that?
Yep, I got mine. I got both of them.
Okay, cool. All right, and traffic generation ideas. You could also probably take screenshot of this too. I think, I feel like what I should have done is maybe have like a little red dot on the right corner saying take screenshot, take screenshot, take screenshot, so that people know exactly what parts to pay attention to. Anyway, so traffic generation ideas. I mentioned this with the concept of inbound link, but magazines and publications directing links back to your website or landing pages, which is why everyone is super, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Everyone wants to do guest blogging and get featured because just for the sake of it, so that they can have all these logos. But now I want you to like switch the mindset a little bit and then say, you know what, my purpose is to direct direct, for example, 1 million people traffic on Forbes back to my website. Whomever's reading my article, whoever's reading whatever interview that I was featured in. So magazine and publications directing links. I know, for example, there are a lot of platforms, if you do guest posting or if you do get featured or whatever, they allow you to give one link, and then if they're really generous about it, they say, okay, like give me your Facebook, give me your Twitter, but usually they allow one link, usually. So make sure to put appropriate links. Don't put a link to like your Twitter or something unless your priority is to get Twitter followers. But my side is you should probably link it back to your website. And then ideally what you could do, link it to your website blog or link right back to your website's discovery session page or something like that, or landing page. Actually, landing page is a good strategy for this one because you can collect email addresses. But I think that's beyond the scope of the training. And there's also social media platforms. There's Tumblr, Reddit. I'm trying to think of social media platforms that do really, really well in search engine. If you can get yourself on Wikipedia, do it, because true story, I was doing this for my consulting clients recently, my business partner and I, and one thing that they really wanted to do was they had a nonfiction book and they want to put some of their terminologies and theories on Wikipedia. So what we did, we made them Wikipedia official. We made sure that they stayed. I'm not sure if they're still on there because Wikipedia editors keep editing the things out. But anyways, but within like a day, I typed in the keyword, and then their Wikipedia article was like on the first page Google on the very first spot. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's really like it's phenomenal if you can get yourself on Wikipedia. That should be like your 3-year goal kind of thing, because it's gonna like literally it's like, well, if you can get that far, then yeah, you probably won't even need to worry about all these SEO things anymore, because you're just on first page Google forever. There's also Pinterest. I know that a lot of people consider Pinterest as a search engine because, I don't know, it's very unique that way. And I've seen a lot of Quora content that's really, really well in search engine. For example, if you type in what much you're gonna see, you're probably gonna see Wikipedia, you're gonna see Quora, you're gonna see WebMD. That's probably gonna tell you that you actually have something more serious. And where else there might be some Pinterest too, but the point being, like, I'm just giving you these examples to show you that these particular social media platforms, also in Tumblr too, they do really, really well in search engines. So like, don't disregard them completely. There are a lot of ways to manage them. And then also have call to action too. For example, if you're in Pinterest, make sure to say come visit my website, or pin it to save for later. Or if you're on Tumblr, do the same thing. And then if you're on Quora, like, you can do what I do and say, like, do the whole value post first, and then at the end say, side note, I have a blog post in my website that goes further into this, and then inbound link to your website. Traffic generation that way. And there's also paid traffic option. Woohoo! I know I'm not gonna get into this as much, but I just want to let you know that this exists, because I mean, we've seen Facebook ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, we're gonna see Instagram ads. And do they have Tumblr? No, I don't think they have Tumblr now, but there's YouTube ads. And so and LinkedIn too. But a lot of these social media platforms, they have paid ad option within the platform. And just wanted to let you know, Google has them too. But let me also tell you that it's probably not going to get you as much of a return on investment, because if you think of, like, if I don't know, like, just break it down this way. Who clicks on, like, for example, you Google pink polka dots, pink polka dot hula hoops. Who actually clicks on the little thing that says, like, in gold, it says ad, and then there's like a link, and then, like, who actually clicks on that? No, you don't click on that. You click on whatever's on the first spot of the first page of the search engine, which doesn't say the whole, like, yellow and ad. So just letting you know, if you wanted to pay traffic, it exists, but just also letting you know, SEO is probably that. At the end of SEO reminders, don't forget the headlines. I've been really guilty of this too. For example, if you're blogging, or if you have if you have blogging, or if you're like doing videos, make sure to have appropriate headlines. So maybe like, how to get your very first 1,000 subscribers. Like, have a headline. Don't leave it no subject, because like, how are people gonna find it? But like, heck, how are you gonna find it? And then also, this is another trick. If you don't want to wait for these Google spiders to like crawl through the web and then take 3 weeks to find your website, there is this link. You can submit your website on search engines, believe it or not. So whenever there's major updates on your website, this is Google Webmaster Tools, and just go on it. Click it here. Alrighty, but okay, let me click. But anyways, you can submit your website on search engine. It's really easy. If you do have Google account already set up, then you just copy and paste the link of your website, click, and then just submit it whenever there's major updates on your website. And it does speed up the process just a little bit, provided the fact that all the 4 criteria that I mentioned, which was description, quality, and all that fun stuff. I can go back to the slide if you like. Actually, let me go back to that particular slide. So as long as you have these contents when you're submitting your website on Google, like through the indexer or whatever, Webmaster Tool will be golden. And focus on your keywords and use them appropriately. So the brand's name, what your brand is about, the title, like the subphrases, don't like focus on those. Don't just focus on very generic keywords. And alrighty. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this was the slide that I'm supposed to use. Also, don't use backlink generator websites. Like if you I know I've done it before, so I thought I'll point it out too. But because essentially when you're new to SEO, you're just like, okay, so the more links I have to my website, the better, right? So I'm just gonna use the generator and then make a bunch of links directing back to my website. It doesn't work like that either. I learned that the really, really hard way. So the point being, don't use backlink generation, generator websites. Don't buy them either. If someone offers you for $500, just $500 for a nice dinner out. They're often not the best quality, and in fact, Google might take it as, okay, this is just packed with irrelevant content, so we're just gonna drown your website to the bottom, and congratulations, your SEO efforts didn't work. So don't do it. Just don't do it. I learned it the hard way. And SEO also takes a lot of time. Like I said, for example, the spiders, I mentioned that it could take 3 weeks. It never takes a day. So really be patient. And another tip I could give, keep your eye out on competition. So whether it'll be their content, keywords, I'm trying to think of an example. If you're a personal finance strategist and then your competitors and all the influencers within your specialty are talking about how to save money for Christmas, you might want to write about that on your blogs, for the content purpose, but at the same time to make sure that you show up in search engine, because if people if your audience is typing how to save money for Christmas, you want your content to show up if you're a personal finance strategist. Just a little bit of an example here. And yeah, and tools to consider. I'm giving you actual tools too for WordPress users. Yoast plugin, it seems like the industry standard almost. So Yoast SEO plugin to optimize your headlines, descriptions, and keywords. What's really cool about SEO, the Yoast SEO plugin, is it has a little bar, and you type in your keyword that you want to focus on, and then the bar moves. So when the bar is highlighted green and it's 70 and over, that means it's really good for SEO purposes. But if the bar is for example red, that means you're doing something wrong. So you need to really fix that. So so Yoast also does, for example, if you're in red or yellow, they give you suggestions of what to do. They give you things for example, use a header, or use bolder things, or you include more keywords. Make sure your post is 300 words and above. So they tell you all these things, and it really it's like you're it's like having your SEO specialist with you 24/7, whenever you're on your WordPress website. So that's one tool. And then another tool, Google Analytics, to view your traffic sources and the keywords that work really well. And if you need ideas on keywords, there's Keyword Planner too within Google. Again, all of these are free. I do believe Yoast SEO plugin, they have, I think they have a paid version of it. But typically when it comes to these kind of trainings, I don't recommend tools that are ridiculously expensive. It's not what I believe in. And so yeah, Google Analytics, it's a great way to view your traffic sources, and they do it for free. And there's also Google AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages. And what it does, especially for mobile, it accelerates loading speed and really optimizes your website on mobile. I know that, for example, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, but they make their website amazing on desktop, but they go on the mobile, and then the letters are just all over the place. And the next thing you know, if you're a viewer, you get to a point where you're I can't even read any of these, because all these letters are flying everywhere. So Google AMP, and also the loading speed too, because because let's be honest, if I'm pretty sure everyone in this audience, like everyone watching this particular training or watching the replay, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that if a website takes more than 5 seconds to load, we're probably backing out and say, yeah, I don't have time for this. So Google AMP really helps to accelerate the loading speed, and while at the same time making it mobile friendly so that you can keep the traffic that comes to your website, which is amazing. All right, so I know that was a lot of information being thrown at you at once. It's like, so here's a recap. So if you do your SEO right, your future clients can come across your brand online anytime and anywhere, and Google will do that work for free. So 24/7 visibility upon right keyword. And quick recap, I've already went back to this, but keywords, relevant content, description tags, and navigation, and further on the overall quality. If you want your website to rank super high up on search engine, it needs to meet all these criteria. And as well, here's your action steps. Blogs and videos should be your new best friend. And you should use appropriate tools like Google Analytics or Yoast plugin. Honestly, if I could make it mandatory, if I could make it mandatory, I would. Because honestly, even though SEO is super, super important, it's way, way better if you have tools helping you out. So they're free too, so use it. And make sure your website is super mobile friendly and easy to navigate. And as well, use appropriate traffic strategies to bring traffic back to your website. Alrighty, so those are the action steps. If you want to take a screenshot of it, I'll just give everyone a second, because this is your homework of the day, or too long didn't watch, I need a summary. So that's
Awesome. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you type them out in the chat below. But this was a great presentation. One thing that I really liked is how you just broke down everything very simply for people to understand, because SEO is just one of those things that everybody has heard of, but it's like going vegan or doing yoga. You should do it, but you just don't know the how. And I feel like this would give a lot of clarity to a lot of people to start their business. These plugins are very helpful and they're very useful. But a lot of people, are saying, okay, I saw this awesome presentation. I've got a few actionable steps right there. I know blogs and videos should be my best friends, and I should use appropriate tools, make sure my website is mobile friendly, and use the appropriate traffic strategies to bring traffic back to your website. Which one of these should they adopt first? Because these are several different pieces for somebody to add to their game. And as a business entrepreneur, these are business maneuvers that you're going to start implementing in your business. Which one of these is more of the low-hanging fruit or the easiest, barrier to completion from these?
I would say easiest thing to apply would be blogs and videos. Everyone does it all the time. And then, for example, maybe some of you might be listening to the replay or watching this thing right now and saying, but Claire, I only do Facebook posts. I don't blog. Here's what you can do. Let me tell you a little bit of a hack. Ready? Cool. Okay, so what you do is you just copy and paste. You just copy the exact Facebook post, and then just put it up on your blog. Give it a headline, and then put it on image. Boom! Congratulations, you just have a blog post, and yeah. So that don't be afraid to really recycle your content. I mean, the proper term is repurposing, but don't be afraid to recycle your contents that you made on social media. For example, if you're really big on Periscope for Facebook Live, save it, and at the end of the stream, put it up on YouTube. Type in the keywords saying Chris Smith, the sales strategist, did a Periscope broadcast on October blah blah blah, and talked about how to how to increase your conversion rate. And just put them on YouTube description, and then you can put that YouTube video on your blog and website and things like that, and basically sprinkle it with the right keywords so that you can increase the chance of your content being seen. So that's the very first that's the easiest step to apply, I would say, because you already have the content if you're watching this training. So you just need to be creative as to, okay, how am I going to distribute it in other different platforms? How am I going to make it into blog and video platforms? And the second easiest would be using appropriate traffic strategies, because we're already all on social media. You just need to shift your gears a little bit. And then, like, for example, the Twitter, on your Twitter, say this, like, visit my website, and then give them a link instead of saying follow me, and they follow me on Instagram, and then on Instagram you say follow me on Reverb Nation. No, don't make them roundabout. Make it like, direct them all back to the website, and this looks like a weird hand motion. And so, yeah, I would say these two are the easiest to navigate, and then really like start implementing, like, even right after this training. Google Analytics and Yoast plugin, like, all of these steps are very, very easy, but website being mobile friendly and easy to navigate, I do have to admit you might want to consult with your website designer or whatever and make sure that it is. So I'll say this is the hardest action step to really implement. Google Analytics, Yoast plugin, yeah, if you're a little bit tech challenged, you might find it a little bit difficult too. But the first and last one, you have no excuse as to why you shouldn't implement it. Second and third one, okay, we'll give you a little bit of a break. If you say, well, I didn't really implement it yet, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. Well, if you're not tech friendly, then yeah, it's not the easiest to implement.
Awesome, Claire. This was a phenomenal training. I hope you guys took notes. I hope you guys are going to take action on this, because this is really easy stuff that's not really that hard. It's super easy. You just really have to set aside, realistically, maybe the 45 minutes to 2 hours just to get it done. And once you learn that, you can do that for the rest of your businesses moving forward. This is a very basic foundation of conducting business online. And if you want to generate revenue online and you seriously want to use online marketing, as you should, as one of the primary marketing tools for your business, you have to at least understand these concepts or hire somebody out to make these things happen for you. One or the other. You've either got to have that there. So Claire, this is a great training. Where can people find you? Where can people get in touch with you?
Well, so I have my website and my community. So I would say the easiest way to find me is my community, because literally everyone has phones, and like I get notifications on my phone if someone tags me on the community. So there's that. If you want to email me, yeah, I do check it on a daily basis. Oddly enough, I like checking emails. And there's also my website, yay, but it's buzzwithclaire.com. So any questions, concerns, just find me one of these three places and I'll be happy to answer.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, Claire, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you helping me serve the Talent Tribe. This was a phenomenal training, and I look forward to seeing more trainings from you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Bye.